trimming the differences on trade. The European Commission President is in the UK to try and finalise a new Brexit deal for Northern Ireland. Missing Chinese billionaire Bao Fan is cooperating with the authorities, according to his company. But what kind of message are they trying to send? Hello and welcome to World Business Report. I'm Jonathan Josephs. Thank you for joining us wherever in the world you are. If you thought Brexit was done and dusted, think again. It might be 3 years since the UK formally left the European Union, but the deal they agreed left a lot of people unhappy about the way trade was conducted between the two. And that's why in the next couple of hours, Britain's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is set to hold face-to-face talks with the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in the hope of finalising some important changes. They're meeting just outside London to discuss the complex challenges of the Northern Ireland Protocol, which governs trade in the only part of the UK which shares a land border with the European Union. Well, let's bring in Russ Mould, who is Investment Director at AJ Bell, the investment firm. Russ, 3 years on, a lot of people are unhappy. What is it that businesses in particular are so unhappy about with the Brexit deal that's led to such high-level talks?
Yeah, businesses are continuing to be concerned about, there's enough supply chain friction in the world at the moment anyway. They also don't want there to be extra tariffs or extra bureaucracy if they can possibly avoid them, and certainly nobody wins from tariffs. And so here you have a situation whereby businesses want to be able to freely trade between England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland in one direction, England, Scotland and Wales and the Republic of Ireland in another, and also more freely still within the wider European Union. There's also the threat that the UK has made that it would even consider breaking international law to try and get some form of Brexit deal done. And that's a big deterrent to any business perhaps looking to invest and put its money into the United Kingdom.
So those are some of the challenges the politicians are trying to tackle. Although we haven't obviously yet had the result of these talks, so we don't know exactly what's in it. What are some of the proposed solutions that might be on the cards from the sort of things that businesses have been saying, this is actually what we would like you to do to change things?
Yeah, the major proposal seems to be a sort of two-channel approach. Goods that go into Northern Ireland, still part of the United Kingdom, are not subject to checks and additional bureaucracy. Goods from England, Scotland and Wales that go into the Republic of Ireland, still a member of the EU, are then still subject to the checks which are now being imposed following Britain's withdrawal from the European Union. So there's a two-lane approach there. And
despite all this friction, the EU remains the UK's biggest single trading partner. So is there a hope that that trade will be able to grow more if these challenges are overcome as a result of this meeting today?
I think that would be very much the hope on both sides. And I think that's why Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission President, is flying to the UK, why Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, while pro-Brexit, is taking what I think business would see as a pragmatic approach to try and get a deal done, to reduce tensions between the two and to increase trade flow over time, economic cycle permitting.
Russ Mould from the investment firm AJ Bell, thank you very much for your time.
Jonathan.
And there'll be more, of course, on Brexit throughout the day here on BBC World News, so do stay tuned for the result of those talks. Now, let's move on to China. And the missing Chinese billionaire Bao Fan is helping the country's authorities with an investigation. That's according to his company. The founder of the influential investment bank China Renaissance Holdings was reported missing 11 days ago. And he is a leading deal broker for some of the country's biggest technology firms, such as the ride-hailing app Didi and the shopping platform Meituan. It's not the first time a Chinese billionaire business leader has disappeared like this. So what more do we know? Let's speak to Kerry Allen, who is the BBC's China media analyst. Nice to see you, Kerry. Just tell us a bit more about what we do know about what happened to Bao Fan and why has this caused so much anxiety?
Yes, so Bao Fan has been missing for 11 days now, and we don't actually know much more. We know that he's cooperating with an investigation, and this is in finance media today, and there was the feeling that he was known. It was known by the state that he wasn't fully missing. So there weren't police reports, for example, over the last 2 weeks. But yes, we don't know the nature of this investigation. We know that there's been speculation about whether it might be linked to China Renaissance's former president, Song Ling, because he was investigated back in September. Yeah, we don't know much more than that. We know that it's being kept very tightly lidded, and what we're hearing from the company is that it's running as normal. But obviously, this is a company that deals with some major firms in China. So we're talking firms like Didi, which is the equivalent of Uber in the country, Meituan as well, which is like a Deliveroo style platform. These are big kind of household names. So this has unsettled investors, the fact that we don't know much more than we're hearing at the moment.
And there had been signs that the crackdown the Chinese authorities had been taking out against the tech companies had been starting to ease and perhaps coming to an end. But this isn't the first time a Chinese tech billionaire or tech-related billionaire has gone missing like this. Is there some kind of message that the authorities are trying to send?
There absolutely could be, yes. I mean, there has been long-term a kind of suggestion of frictions between both the Communist Party and these very influential, powerful financial figures. So billionaires within the country become quite outspoken. Jack Ma, for example, he was known previously, the founder of Alibaba, as being a very outspoken figure, and has suddenly, been falling out the limelight in recent years. So, yeah, there are questions about whether this might have been the case with Bao Fan, or whether, because he knows so many people, influential people, whether, this could be the start of another crackdown. And we do have to factor as well that over the last 3 years, China's been in the pandemic, its economy has been affected, so people didn't expect this, and they're seeing it happen again.
Kerry Allen, the BBC's China media analyst, thanks very much for the latest on Bao Fan there. Now let's move on to the Australian firm Recharge Industries, because it is buying the British battery maker Volt out of administration. Well, British Volt, that is, and it had been planning a $5 billion gigafactory to build batteries for electric cars in the northeast of England. But it ran out of money and collapsed last month. The company's downfall was blamed on a lack of battery experience, unproven technology, and a lack of customers, as well as money coming into the company. The boss of its new owner has been speaking to our business editor, Simon Jack, about why his company is different.
What we're bringing, which is different to the prior British Volt, is we're bringing validated technology. So that process has already started. US Defence has also validated the technology. It's actually already supplied to the UK Navy through a subcontractor over here.
Do you understand why people are a bit nervous about this? Because you've got a financial services background in capital markets and banking. You've got a small headcount. You run basically like a private equity group. You've tried to bring in bits of expertise, academics in the US, what have you. But what people can't see is a Tesla, General Motors, Ford, Volvo, BMW, those kind of people involved in this. And that's where people were hoping this was going to go.
Yeah, well, I think, number one, they all started somewhere before they became big. Yeah, we've got accelerated growth and have been successful all along the way. At the end of the day, those are customers for us. And so we have some of those names in our base of customers. So a lot of them don't all come in and build batteries, some of them do, and a lot of them use other technologies. What we will need is the people locally, the contractors that will re-engage, that will start employing, and we have the benefit of picking up and leveraging a lot of the stuff that was in place, as well as a lot of the stuff that was already underway.
Obviously, there's a lot of focus on this because it's seen as an important part of the jigsaw of future manufacturing here in the UK. Have you spoken to anyone in government?
Appreciate how important government is. So we've spent a lot of time, for starters, with the Northumberland County Council, and I just want to say they genuinely just want a gigafactory built and the best thing for their people.
That was David Collard speaking to our business editor Simon Jack about the future of British Volt. Now, let's have a look at some other news this hour. Mobile phone giant Nokia, or I should say the former mobile phone giant, has revealed plans to change its brand identity, including the unveiling of a new logo. The brand's iconic blue has been replaced with a variety of colours. Nokia is making a shift towards being a business technology company rather than a smartphone brand. The big reveal was made last night in Barcelona ahead of the Mobile World Congress, which is the industry's big annual gathering. And also there, the Chinese tech company Xiaomi has launched 2 premium smartphones, the Xiaomi 13 and 13 Pro, which will be priced at upwards of €999. They're intended as a rival to the highest spec iPhone and Samsung models. And that's all we've got time for on World Business Report. So do stay tuned. In the next few hours, we'll have more. Thanks for watching.